Ladies and gentlemen, this channel has finally hit over 200 subscribers, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I made what feels like not too long ago the 100 subscriber thank you episode. So I'm overjoyed at being able to make this video relatively quickly after that. The channel feels like it has gotten some really good momentum in the last month or two, and I definitely hope to see that continue. Having this channel grow has been extremely satisfying to see. I love doing it. I do apologize that it seems like there have been less videos than in the previous months, and I've tried to address that when I could, so hopefully the message reached everybody. But you know, it's just college courses and everything like that have really been kicking into high gear, to put it lightly, in the past month. But that should hopefully be ending soon, at least for the time being. Once classes start up again in a couple months after this, we will see what happens. But school, you know, does always have to come first. But I do try and make these videos when I can. But yeah, so thank you so much. We hit 200 subscribers. I'm making this, you know, the evening that I found out. So again, thank you so much. I feel like I have such an amazing subscriber base. I love seeing all your guys' comments in the videos and having conversations about things we can do to improve the Morrowind Let's Play in terms of mods that I can get and things I can do to fix some of the problems of the Morrowind graphic extension. And in my Dragon's Dogma Let's Play, I love hearing about... I mean, I didn't even know that you could cast spells on yourself when I started this Let's Play. So, learning things like that and hearing the comments from you guys about your own experiences with Dragon's Dogma and stuff like that, it's a lot of fun. And again, thank you so much for being a part of that. Just thank you so much. Maybe we'll hit 300 even sooner than we hit 200. Wouldn't that be something? Right, so... I did also want to mention, I got the Nintendo Switch, which I was not expecting to be able to get. My girlfriend went out and got one just a couple days ago at the time of recording this video, and she found it at Toys R Us. Actually, we split the price in half, so we each did $150 for it. Yeah, so Toys R Us. She tried Target and GameStop, and they each got really low shipment numbers, like 2, which is a little unacceptable, honestly. But Toys R Us, yeah, they got like 40. So if you're on the hunt for one, you know, maybe you'll have some luck there. If you don't, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I've been playing it, and I got Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. How could I not, right? And so I just wanted to give you my thoughts on what I've played so far. The Nintendo Switch as a console, not looking at the game right now, Zelda, just the console, it's really good. It's way more limited than I expected, but in a good way, I think. It currently does not have any Netflix capability, there's no YouTube app or anything like that. There's no fluff to the system, which in a pretty big way I actually really admire. It's kind of nice just to have this console and say that is for video games. It's not a home entertainment system. It's not trying to replace your DVR or your computer or your Netflix machine. It just plays games, and I really actually appreciate that. It's reflected in the price. I mean, $300 for a new console is really not that expensive when you've got the new Xboxes and new PlayStations coming out. Well, not the new ones, but you know, their PlayStation Pro and what is it, the Xbox Scorpio, I think. And those are going for $400 or $500, I think. I might be wrong on that, but I know it's certainly more than $300. So the price is pretty good, not unreasonable. The user interface for the Switch is really nice. It's really sleek. It It's fast. It's really fun to move around. I love all of the sound effects, which is kind of a random thing to mention, but I like them. They're really, I don't know. You click on something and there's a little bell, you know? It's satisfying. It's fun to move around in the menu. It's easy to do. There's not a whole lot of, well, like I said, fluff. You know, you have your main menu and you plop your game in and it shows right up. You click on it, you press play, you go. And then other than that, you have some buttons along the bottom for the Nintendo eStore, which is pretty limited right now. I'm assuming they will, of course, be adding more to it in the weeks to come. You've got your settings, your profiles, you can change some stuff about the controllers, and you can put it into sleep mode. And there's a news section. And that's really it. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. It feels like the modern equivalent of owning a Super Nintendo. You know, you had the system, you put the game in, you played it, and that was it. And I really kind of like that. In terms of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I really don't think there's anything I can say that hasn't been said already, except for repeating that same thing that's been said over and over. It's worth the money. Honestly, it's worth the whole system. It at the same time feels very Zelda. You play it and you look at it and you immediately feel like you're playing a Legend of Zelda game, and yet it's all of the intricacies that surround it and make up the game that feel very fresh. You know, combat and the dungeons and getting these items and stuff like that. It feels very Zelda, but it's all about in the way you do it. Being able to complete dungeons in any order feels great. I know that was something that you could do in A Link Between Worlds. And having this huge open world just readily available for you, really satisfying. The crafting system with it's not really crafting, it's cooking. I don't know if later they introduce a full crafting system, but the cooking right now is actually really cool. There's a temperature gauge, which I was not expecting, where if you're in cold climates, you start to freeze to death, and vice versa for molten environments. It's not something that is unfamiliar to Zelda. I mean, if you went into the Ash Mountain in Ocarina of Time without the red tunic, you would catch fire. And I think that's a perfect example for what Breath of the Wild does that's so great. It introduced something that isn't alien to the franchise. It just introduced it in a new and interesting way that feels both at once very familiar and also new, because the temperature system in Breath of the Wild, it's relating to the time of day. It's relating to the location you're in, and it changes and it fluctuates, and it pulls you into the world more than just, well, you're in this area, so therefore you are this temperature. You can wait until morning in a cold environment, and that next morning might be warmer than it was at night, and now you're not freezing. And it just pulls the whole world together, and it feels really cool. Combat is good. It just, I don't know, everything about it is great. Just the simple act of running around is really satisfying in Breath of the Wild. So those are my quick thoughts on the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. Overall, really excellent. My only criticism of the Nintendo Switch is my girlfriend and I are having a problem, as others have mentioned, with the Nintendo Switch, the Joy-Con controllers. The left one, it seems like if you're at a further distance, it loses its connection sometimes, and it'll kind of lag. I don't know if that's something that they're going to be able to fix with a patch, which is concerning. There was a report that I saw that somebody was able to fix this by doing some smoldering to the controller. So they actually opened it up and then had to change some of the wiring or extend some of the copper wiring a little bit. Something like that. If that's the case and they can't fix that with the patch, that's not good. And if they expect people to go out and buy a new set of Joy-Con controllers for like the $70 they're charging, that's pretty bad. And If that sounds like something that you're really concerned about, which I think you very well should be, then maybe hold off on getting the Nintendo Switch until Nintendo releases an official statement on the controller. But again, it only seems like if you're sitting on the opposite end of the room. Because I was playing it for a while with the Switch actually hooked up to my computer, so I was like a foot and a half away from the console, and I had zero problems. It was only when we set it up at the TV and then sat back on the sofa, then we started having problems. So definitely something I'm hoping Nintendo addresses soon. Anyways, this video went on longer than I thought. Wrapping up, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. Could not do it without all your guys' support. I hope to see you all in the next episodes that I'll be putting up for my Morrowind and Dragon's Dogma Let's Play. Thank you again so much. I can't say it enough, and I will see you all next time.